Hey y'all, um, just jumping on here real quick. I've had a lot of questions about the tab. Uh, um, oh my gosh, the tab binding, asking if it could be used on more than two pages. Well, I mean, you could probably get one or two more pages out of a regular whale tail or a regular tab at all. So, in that sense of the word, yes. But I also, of course, I wondered the same thing when I first saw it. So, I have an idea brewing that I think might possibly work and be kind of smart. So, based on the construction of a whale tail or any tab, um, it's basically two pieces of sturdy paper. And then the way that it binds is by butterflying open each end of it onto the inside and then on the outside of the pages you're binding. So, what I have thought is if I could use a long piece of paper doubled up, fed through a slot, just the way we fed the tab through the slot of the other two pages that I showed in the video, then maybe we could bind together some a significant number of pages, if you see what I mean. So I have made this little template, very messily, but it's a template um, to bind, to attempt to bind pages that might be used as a signature. A signature is just a group of pages that are put into a book when it is all bound together. So I've seen that question on other people's in other people's comments. What is a signature? So that's what a signature is in any kind of book, whether it's factory made or handmade or professionally handmade, or us, those of us who are not professionals. So what I'm going to do is take what I normally use for signatures is 8.5 by 11 pages folded in half, or something that fits inside of those measurements. So it would be 8.5 by 5.5. So anything smaller than that can be used in my, you know, normal signatures. So what I am going to do is use three long strips of paper, because obviously one would make it kind of wobble around too much, and two is just the same thing. Well, I mean, I guess you could do two. You could do two, but I'm doing three because I that's the way I already cut my template. Because in my mind, a three-hole uh, stitch is what I normally use, so it's got to be three. It's got to replace that anyway. That's just the way my brain works. So I thought I would sort of show y'all this step of it. So I have my good old friend here, Mr. Chip Board, good friend of mine, Chip. Um, and I've cut the way ridiculously too big slots in that, and I will use that as a template like one would to punch the holes for the three holes for the pamphlet stitch. But I wanted y'all to see it before I started. I'm going to fold these pages in half and then mark where the three slots need to be cut. Then I'll cut the three slots and see how successful I am at that. And then I'll be right back at you when I found something to use as the binding paper, and I have all of my slots cut into these what I think this is 12 pieces of paper, which is a, that's a pretty healthy amount of paper for one uh, journal signature, because that would mean, 4 times that many actual usable pages. So it would be 48 pages in the 12 sheets of paper signature. So it'll all make sense later on in the video. So just bear with me, and I'll work us through this. Okay? All right. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back. If the sound sounds different, I gotta straighten you up. It is because I think my collar microphone was dying. It's sitting here blinking at me, so I'm pretty sure that means it's dying. So, so yeah, back to the business at hand. I used my template to draw and then actually cut the much too big slots in the signature pages. However, I feel like the slots need to be bigger. Maybe not as big as this, but they need to be bigger to allow for the pages to move very freely along the strap. So, because as you know, if you've done a journal before or anything before, as you add things to the pages, everything's going to bulk up. It's going to get thicker. So they need to be able to take up more room on the straps than when they're originally being, made. So this is the material I'm using for the straps, and it is just the gussets of the inside of a gift bag, and this is 3 inches wide, so I'm going to cut it down to I'm going to cut 3 that are 1 inch wide and then feed them through here. So I just had to give that time to dry, and I have, like I said, I've glued them together, but I've left room at the bottom for them to butterfly unfolded on the inside. So let me just see if these are ready to be cut. Because glue takes a while to dry, especially this. I use this Beacon 3-in-1 because I really do not want it to come apart, even though this is just for test purposes. But let me tell you, that stuff stinks. It just stinks. And so yeah, it stinks. And that stinks. There's no way around it. Okay, so let me just see if I can very gingerly cut these. And I'm going to leave them longer than they need to be, just for ease of threading them through the pages. Yeah, I'm certain I could have done this much more neatly, but hey, it's the prototype, right? So I'm having a hard time already. This one might be too wide. Where else I cut? No, there we go. Okay, so let's see which end is glued. This end is glued, right? Right. So here is another thing that you might want to be aware of. You can't be too skittish about the inside of the signature. Like it, normally when you're sewing a signature in, or when you're sewing it together, it's basically just a couple of pieces of thread, maybe the knot or the bow or whatever is there. But this is actually going to be seeable, be visible, be obviously visible on the inside of your whatever pages you're sticking together with this. So just food for thought there. Let me get this one going as well. must just be this slot that I cut is not as wide. Maybe just not lined up right. I don't know. But anyway, there it goes. So I've left, you know, I've glued this and left an unglued portion of the strap, but I would not recommend, I don't think this piece that we're going to butterfly open on the inside of the pages should be very short, because then, you know, there's the danger of it coming up, or the whole thing coming apart. So this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if I can get them all roughly the same length in here, and then cut them out, cut them off up here. But like I said, the strap needs to be longer for some wiggle room to be available as the pages get thicker. Well, the pages won't get thicker, but the group will get thicker. Okay, so I actually might go ahead and glue these open. Let me think a minute. Do I want to use this darn stinky glue again? I probably do. Or else I'm going to have to make this a little bit longer. Back to plan A, because I can't, man, I can't. And of course, this could be much tidier than it is, but this is my first attempt, really, at doing this way. And we're just kind of seeing if it actually will work, or if it's just malarkey. It's all just a bunch of malarkey. But we're going to try. You know, never know until you try. Oh, I don't like the strings. The glue web that stuff makes. One more. Stay down. And I've used thicker paper. Obviously this is, you know, it has a bit of texture to it, and it's, you know, gift bag material paper. I guess you could just use some heavyweight scrapbook paper or cardstock, but I just want to, I don't know why I'm trying to make it so sturdy for just, you know, something I'm doing for grins and giggles, but still. That's the way I roll, I guess. I mean, we are now literally watching glue dry. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all just fine. Well, y'all just talk among yourselves, you know. Get a beverage. the beverage of your choice. Around here, that'd be tea, sweet tea, lots of ice. Cover your stinky self up for a few minutes. I wanted to go ahead and get that glued before I, excuse me, before I start manipulating the other ends of these straps. So, okay. That's where it would need to be to just hold them together. But since we want a little bit of wiggle room, room for growth, we want some room for growth, I am going to cut it off just a little bit longer. And also leave a decent amount to glue down. Now, you know, these are going to be nowhere near equal in length because that's just not my thing. And I probably even cut into the part that I glued. Dang sure did. What a Nimrod. I don't know what I thought I was gluing down. Must have thought I was going to be using these straps to bind some significant piece of work. But it's okay. It's all right. Come on, Stinky. Come on, Stinky glue. Oop. I just need one. Just one layer. Ooh, I am seriously getting this all over myself. That's okay. If you're not wearing some part of your project, you're probably not doing it right. So yeah, I wouldn't say you could use this method for any kind of significantly thick project, but for a couple of signatures, I don't see why it wouldn't work. But like I said, you need to. I will need to see how this does with some ephemera added to it, but yeah. Definitely couldn't use it for the next bestseller. That's for sure. Sides glued in and let it dry for a little bit, and we'll see how it functions once the tabs are all settled in and dried. Where'd I put the lid? There it is. Flip my lid. This stuff does take quite a while to dry. I might go ahead and put clamps on it to keep them down while it's drying. So once again, I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so I'm back after a long delay. My daughter and her family came over and we were playing for a while. So here's this, probably completely and thoroughly dry by now, Yeah, so that's what that looks like. Let's see what the inside. Whoa, it's stuck together. Oh no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. It's just that one. Oh, and well, okay. Maybe not use that glue because it's super duper stiff. Super duper stiff. Where's my... There is my bone folder. Let's see. That's a bit disappointing, but there it is. Oh, sorry. Okay, there's that. There it is. And the oh, that's a shame. The just happened on that one though. The strap is showing a bit much there. Yeah. I wonder why it's just that one. Anywho, just for those of us who were wondering if you could use that technique of the whale tail tab on more than 2 pages. So I took it a bit extreme to 12 pages and 3 straps holding them together, but it works. So I mean, a couple of more attempts at it might come out better, but there you have it. Some maybe not quite so thick paper and some not so stiff glue. Oh, well, and there's this side of it. I don't know. I don't know. There it is. There's my attempt. Make of it what y'all will. I probably would not use that as a binding, but using it for a few more than 2 pages would definitely work on the, even just using the tab would work. So anyway, just thought I'd share my little experiment with y'all. So that is it for this little bonus video. I will see y'all for the Friday edition tomorrow, and y'all have a good day. Bye.